Let's go out to the Toyota of Hollywood guest line. Shop hundreds of Toyotas indoors in one of America's largest showrooms at Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood and Sheridan. We will talk to Local 10's David Dwork there, also the host of the Chirping the Cats podcast. The man has been following the Cats for a long, long time. First of all, I'll ask the same thing I asked Ryan Lomberg, David. Last night, Goosies or Goosies galore?
They haven't gone away yet.
Wow.
Like every hair on my body is still standing up. It's been ridiculous.
Why are you throwing it in our face? Why are you throwing it in my face? All my hairs.
Oh. There's more going on than up here, brother.
All right.
All over. Just it's what is last night, man? Is when that game winner hits, when the clock hits 0, what's going through your head? As a longtime follower of this team, a longtime supporter of this team.
Did you scream?
Like, what was
you it? Had to scream.
I was breaking all the press box rules. Yeah. I went in there last night. I'm thinking, all right, like as you said, I've grown up down here. I grew up with this team. I was a fan growing up. I played still play hockey, like, very much involved, very big part of my life. But I thought being a journalist for the last several seasons kind of had the fan kind of tapered down a bit on the inside. I thought it was going to be all good. Last night, I couldn't eat. I couldn't drink. I was just sitting there writing, watching, sweating. Like I could not control how I felt. And Leroy, yes, I broke every press box rule. I was standing up. I was yelling. I was hugging. It was total embarrassment.
That's awesome. Who'd you hug?
Yeah.
Who'd you hug? Roy?
Bellamy. Oh, yeah. He was turning over chairs. Oh, yeah. He was going nuts, too.
These guys, Roy.
We've been waiting for this for 30 years.
Back in the 790 days, you and Roy, man. Like, I was like, the first thing I did was like, it was cutting up highlights for Panthers games, but you guys love the Panthers, like, more than anything. I mean, Roy would come in with his classic custom Roy Bellamy jersey, number 11. So for you guys, I mean, it is special. Like, I love the Cats, and I love bringing my kids to the Panthers games, but I know who like the diehards are. So I mean, I immediately thought of like you guys last night. That had to be just an unbelievably cool feeling. And this is incredible, man. I mean, it was 20 plus years of the making, not since 1996, and to think where they came from. I mean, this ride's been incredible. Like, what's going to be the moment that stands out to you? I think the most from just getting here to a place that they haven't been to in 23 years, 27 years.
27 years. Ugh, it's hard to think of one moment. This playoff run it's what you expect from a team that goes on like a unpredictable Cinderella type run. There's all these moments and all these little things that happen that could go either way. There's tons of posts that Toronto Maple Leafs hit. There was the save Bob made on Brad Marchand in Game 5 that would have ended the entire thing right there. I mean, there's Matthew Tkachuk's overtime goal. Game 5 against Boston, Game 1 in this series, Game 2 in this series. That ridiculous 4 seconds left goal to clinch the entire conference last night.
Insane.
And I don't think we're done. Like just the way this run is gone. Like there's no reason to think that, they're going to get to the final and then it's going to stop. Like this team, there's something going on with this team in that locker room. Like I think, who was it that we asked? It may have been Tkachuk. Just what was the feeling on the bench when you blow the lead in the end of the third period, 3 minutes left, suddenly you go from winning the game to tied. And he's like, we felt fine. It was actually a comforting moment for us because it was right in our comfort zone.
You know what's an odd thing, Dave? I felt the same way. I was like, I know that could be a crushing moment, but I'm like, but this team is like, they've been so okay since they've come back from Boston in those tight moments. I'm like, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they pulled something off. Like that's what they have been like. They're so great in the pressure situations. Like, what were your emotions from the time they gave up the goal until they got the lead? Like, were you broken? Like, how were you feeling in those moments?
I guess pretty much the same as I had been feeling the entire game. I mean, there was like a building feeling of excitement during that third period because they were ahead the entire time and you're kind of anticipating what may be about to happen. And then there's that, air gets let out of the building a little bit. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say it was like a worried or a negative anything. It was just more like, please no overtime. That was the feeling. Yeah. That was the feeling. Please no overtime. So thank you, Matthew Tkachuk, for saving us all.
Isn't it crazy that with 5 seconds left to go in the game, how calm he was in the front of that net? Like it seemed like he had forever to just do whatever he wanted to. And he just has that like makeup, of being just a calm, a cool, a collected guy and an antagonist all at the same time.
Yeah. Well, that's what Paul Maurice says about Matthew Tkachuk. Like the way he is off the ice is the exact opposite of the way he is on the ice. On the ice, he's, all over the place. As he said, he's an agitator. He's starting things after the whistle, and obviously an amazingly skilled hockey player. But off the ice, he's very chill, very quiet. He'll talk to you like this. He's not the same. I don't want to say scary, but
Not the same
eccentric.
maniac.
Yeah, he's just he's got that. He puts on his Superman cape and he goes on the ice, and he goes off the ice, puts the glasses on, then he's Clark Kent again. But I mean, both of those goals, Leroy, that he scored last night, because the first goal too, like he takes the puck from in front of the net, does a little move off of a shot from the point. He picks up the puck, makes a move, puts it between the goalie's legs, and then the goal at the end. He didn't know how much time was on the clock. He didn't know who was riding his back. He's just, I'm just gonna take the puck, put it in here, score the biggest goal of my life.
It was great. I'm like, the most amazing thing, nobody touched him. Like usually when somebody has the puck in those areas, they are mauling him. Right?
It was just one of those situations. Like there's no time left. It's a power play. It was chaos. And Tkachuk was like the calmest guy out there. And he's like, oh, okay, y'all freaking out around me. I'm just going to go ahead and win this game right quick.
It's insane. What is some of that stuff in the locker room last night, man? What was that like after the game?
It was great. Like it was, as you would think, honestly, by the time we got in there, there weren't a lot of guys left, but we'd hear them hooping and hollering and celebrating. And no, it was kind of a similar vibe where like everybody was really happy and excited, but at the same time, like the job's not done. Like this isn't the pinnacle of it. Like they've got 4 more wins to get. So like, yes, it was an amazing atmosphere. And I mean, everybody was smiling, and a few guys were high-fiving and hugging with some of the media guys that have been around for a while. And it was very cool, like very unique, but it wasn't the pinnacle. I would expect if they do this one more time and we get one more celebration in the next round, that it would be, to the nth degree of what we saw last night, just because, there wasn't like beers getting thrown around the locker room or anything. Like they've still got some work to do.
What about, we talk obviously on the show a lot about Sergei Bobrovsky. I love the guy. To see what kind of run he's been on, what has been your reaction to see just how he's shut this thing down? I mean, the guy has been incredible basically since he's returned. What have you made of this dramatic postseason turnaround from him? What
have I made of this? What have any of us made of this? Bob went from 4 seasons basically of, frustrating overall, but some good moments. And now all of a sudden he's lights out, the best goalie in the league at the most important time. I don't know what to make of this. I am loving watching it. I'm a goalie, so I goalies are kind of my thing. And watching him be in this zone has been thrilling. And I asked him point blank, I'm like, are you in the zone? What does this feel like? And he's just so humble. He doesn't want to give himself any
one shift at a time.
Exactly.
Focused.
Exactly.
Focused.
Yeah, you guys know. You've been hearing Bob for years. It's so hard to get like him to say anything about himself, because he's just such a team guy. But like when we all kind of go away after the cameras are off and we're just kind of standing around for a minute, you have that little moment where you're like, Bob, congrats. And then he smiles and he pats you on the back, and you get that little moment where he's like, you can see that he's enjoying it. But when the cameras are on him,
I think the thing that I found for a guy who has had such a roller coaster Panthers career, he really does seem beloved by his teammates no matter what. And I don't know if it's, I know goalies are a little bit isolated. It's a little bit weird, but I mean, the hugs that he gets after he wins, the joy people get, the belief, Duclair was talking about this yesterday, that, he's the best goalie he's ever been around and things like that. So I don't know. I mean, for all the animosity and for all the calls for this guy being the worst contract, I genuinely love the fact that his teammates have really seemed to stick by him throughout all of it, especially the guys who have been here for a few years.
Yeah, it's kind of like a hockey thing that players generally rally around their goalies, but Bob is, that Bob is like known as the hardest working guy ever. Like he's the first guy in, the last guy out. He's got a really detailed, intricate work routine.
Very aware of him being the last guy out.
Yeah, yeah, I bet. Yeah. So
we have a lot of hours for him to be the last guy out.
Yeah, well, that's the price you pay for Bob, right?
Yeah,
I would say it probably works hand in hand, because the defense in front of Bob wasn't good in recent years, and it was all on him to make the plays. And now they're kind of working hand in hand, which allows Bob to be as great as he's been. And so maybe it's just, finally we got everything working together. The guys in front of me, I can do what I do. I'm going to make 2 or 3 great saves, but I don't have to make 9 or 10 great saves.
Yeah, it's been kind of like one of those situations where all the pieces fall into place at the right time, Leroy,
Right.
because you've got Bob playing out of his mind, but then you've also got the team in front of him playing great, clearing out rebounds, blocking shots, keeping shots to the outside. Aaron Ekblad was talking yesterday about how they finally gotten to the point where they're playing as a 5-man unit in the defensive zone. They're backing each other up. They're positionally sound. And look, it's been great for Bob because Bob's biggest issue has been his rebound control, right? Getting those pucks that go around makes a save pop crease here and there. Those are all getting cleared out now. I'm trying to think back to the last rebound goal he gave up. It's been unbelievable. And I'm trying to like quantify it and I'm trying to make sense of it in my head. And yeah, I don't know what to expect moving forward. I don't know what kind of Bob we're going to see next season. And honestly, right now, I don't care. And I don't think anybody else should. Bob is in the zone and just pray that it lasts for another 2 weeks. Yeah, ride it. You know how it is.
What do you, we are assuming Vegas is going to move on. They're up 3-0. Take a hell of a collapse from them. Are there things against this team in particular that you think, the Cats can expose? Like, do you like this matchup or do you feel like the Cats just right now, it's all about them. They can handle anybody.
I think that's exactly what it is, Brendan. I mean, look who they've played already. They already took out the best team in the league historically ever. They took out Carolina, who is the second best team in the league, in a 4-game sweep. I really don't think it matters so much about the opponent. And no disrespect to Vegas or Dallas, but Vegas has a very good team. They're on their like 3rd and 4th string goalies and haven't skipped a beat. They've suffered injuries just like the Panthers have. They play a hard physical game, but they are a skilled team as well. It's nothing that the Panthers haven't seen in the playoffs already. As long as they continue to do what they've been doing, it's hard to think that they're going to get stopped at this point. And just saying that, hearing those words come out of my mouth does not feel, it's like, ooh, am I saying this? Like, is it real? But yeah, I mean, the way they're playing right now, yeah, as long as they keep on this track, I think that they can take it all the way. I really do.
Did you sleep last night? Are you just like, did you just like stay on your phone the whole time, just scrolling? Did you just think about the game all night last night? Like how, because I know like after a big win, I don't feel like sleeping. I can't get the wire down. Did you get any shut eye last night?
I did more this morning. But yeah, I mean, I was scrolling my phone until it died at the bar at like 2:30 in the morning. We had, there's a group of us that cover all the games. So we all wanted to go out and have a drink together and just kind of like decompress from everything that just happened. But yeah, running on fumes a little bit, but that's been the case since game one. Game one went to 4 overtimes and I woke up at 5 a.m. to take my family to Disney 2 hours later. So it's been, it's been an amazing, tired, ridiculous ride. And I'm just, I'm here for it. However much longer it lasts.
Disney with kids is more exhausting than 4 overtimes.
Yeah, well, sitting watching stressful is one thing, and then just walking with 2 little ones around Disney for 2 days is a completely another thing. Then going home and doing it all over again with the hockey. But hey, man, this is I wouldn't give it up for anything. This is what we've been craving for 3 decades. So let's go.
All right, man. We always appreciate you giving us some time, man. Go watch David Dwork, read his work, listen to his work at David Dwork on Twitter. He does a fantastic job for Local 10, Chirping the Cats podcast. Been covering the Panthers for a long, long time, been a big Panthers fan for a long time. So happy for you, buddy. And thanks for always giving us some time.
No, my pleasure, man. Anytime. Y'all be good. Jen, I see that Panther shirt.
You like
Cat
it?
Fever!
Let's go. Let's go.